The snowstorm hit just after midnight. Ethan Cole stood at the kitchen sink of his tiny Vermont house, staring through frosted glass while his 6-year-old daughter slept on the couch behind him. The heater rattled like it was dying. Outside, snow swallowed the streetlights whole. Then someone started pounding on his front door. Not knocking. Pounding. Ethan froze. At this hour, in weather like this, nobody came unless something was wrong. He opened the door carefully, and found his neighbor standing there barefoot in the snow. Claire Bennett. The quiet woman from the yellow house next door. Her cheeks were red from the cold. Tears mixed with melting snow on her face. She hugged herself tightly inside a thin sweater, trembling so hard her teeth clicked. "Please," she whispered. "I didn't know where else to go." Ethan immediately pulled her inside. "Oh my God, Claire, what happened?" She couldn't answer at first. Her lips shook too badly. Little Lily stirred awake on the couch, rubbing her sleepy eyes. "Daddy?" Claire looked embarrassed suddenly, like she regretted coming. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "Forget it. I shouldn't have bothered you." But Ethan noticed the bruise near her wrist, and the way she flinched when he moved too fast. Something inside him tightened. "No," he said gently. "You're staying here tonight." Claire looked at him for one long second before completely breaking down. Outside, the storm got worse. Inside, 3 lonely people sat together beneath dim kitchen lights, without realizing this snowy night was about to change all of their lives forever. By morning, the storm had buried the entire neighborhood under nearly 3 feet of snow. Ethan woke early to make pancakes while Lily sat coloring at the table. Claire remained asleep on the couch, curled beneath blankets like someone who hadn't rested in weeks. Lily glanced toward her and whispered, "Is she okay?" Ethan hesitated. "I think she's been sad for a long time." Claire slowly opened her eyes moments later, clearly startled to still be there. For a second she looked terrified, until Lily smiled brightly. "We saved you pancakes." Claire laughed softly for the first time. It changed her entire face. She was beautiful in a quiet, exhausted way Ethan hadn't noticed before. Over breakfast, he learned pieces of the truth. Claire had recently ended a relationship with a man named Derek. Controlling. Angry. Manipulative. Last night, he'd shown up drunk at her house demanding she take him back. He kept banging on the door, she admitted quietly. "I thought eventually he'd break it down." "So you ran here?" She nodded. Lily reached across the table and touched Claire's hand. "You can stay with us." Claire's eyes watered instantly. Ethan felt something shift in the room. Since his wife died 3 years earlier, their house had been painfully silent. Empty. Every day felt mechanical: wake Lily, work construction, make dinner, survive another night alone. But this morning felt different. Warmer. Alive. Later, Ethan helped Claire shovel her driveway. Snowflakes drifted through the gray sky while she laughed at Lily trying to build a crooked snowman. For the first time in years, Ethan caught himself smiling without forcing it. Then Claire suddenly went quiet. Across the street sat a black pickup truck. Engine running. Watching the house. And inside it, Derek. Claire immediately stepped backward. Her face lost all color. Ethan followed her stare toward the truck. The driver's window rolled down slowly, revealing a man in his 30s with sharp eyes and a cruel smile. Derek. Even from across the street, Ethan could feel the tension pouring off him. Claire whispered, "Ignore him." But Derek climbed out anyway. "Claire," he shouted. "So this is what we're doing now?" Lily instinctively moved closer to Ethan. Ethan stepped forward calmly. "You need to leave." Derek laughed mockingly. "And who the hell are you?" "Neighbor." Claire grabbed Ethan's arm gently. "Please don't." But Derek kept walking toward them through the snow. "You disappear all night and suddenly you're playing house with some single dad?" he snapped. Claire looked humiliated. Ethan's jaw tightened. "That's enough." Derek stopped directly in front of him. "Careful, hero." For a moment, Ethan thought the man might swing at him. Instead, Derek leaned toward Claire. "You always do this," he hissed. "You make people feel sorry for you." Claire looked shattered by the words. And that told Ethan everything. This wasn't just a breakup. This was years of emotional damage. "Get off my property," Ethan said firmly. Derek stared at him for several long seconds before finally smirking. "She's trouble," he said quietly. "You'll learn." Then he climbed back into the truck and drove away. Claire immediately began apologizing. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have dragged you into this." "You didn't drag me into anything." "Yes, I did." Her voice cracked. "People always leave once things get messy." Ethan looked at her carefully. "You really believe that?" Claire didn't answer. Because deep down, she absolutely did. And Ethan suddenly realized something terrifying. He already cared enough that leaving her wasn't an option anymore. Over the next 2 weeks, Claire became part of their lives in ways none of them expected. She started helping Lily with homework after school. She cooked dinner sometimes. She even laughed more now, real laughs that filled the little house with warmth Ethan hadn't felt in years. But Derek never truly disappeared. Sometimes Ethan noticed the black truck parked down the street. Watching. Waiting. One evening, Claire found flowers left on her porch. No card. Just roses. She threw them in the trash immediately. "You okay?" Ethan asked. Claire forced a smile. "Yeah." But later that night, Ethan heard her crying quietly in the bathroom. The next morning, Lily accidentally asked a question that froze the entire kitchen. "Claire," she said innocently, "are you gonna stay forever?" Silence. Claire looked down at her coffee cup. Ethan suddenly felt nervous too. Because he'd secretly been wondering the same thing. Claire smiled sadly. "I don't think your dad wants a roommate forever." Lily frowned. "I think he does." Ethan nearly choked on his coffee. Claire laughed softly, but Ethan noticed the sadness behind it. That afternoon, Claire finally admitted something. "I used to be engaged," she told Ethan while they shoveled fresh snow from the porch. "Before Derek." Ethan looked surprised. "What happened?" "He cheated." She swallowed hard. "Then Derek came along right after. At first he made me feel safe. And later? He made me feel small." Ethan understood that feeling too well. After losing his wife, people constantly treated him like broken glass. Fragile. Incomplete. Maybe that's why he understood Claire better than anyone else ever had. Their eyes met for a second too long. And for the first time, neither of them looked away. Then Ethan's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered carefully. A male voice whispered, "You should ask Claire what she's hiding." The call disconnected instantly. The phone call haunted Ethan for days. Claire noticed his distance almost immediately. "You've been quiet," she said one night while washing dishes beside him. Ethan debated lying. Instead, he told her about the call. Claire went pale. "I knew he'd do this." "So it was Derek?" She nodded slowly. Then she surprised him. "There is something I haven't told you." Ethan felt his chest tighten. Claire dried her hands carefully before speaking. "When Derek and I dated, things got bad toward the end. He got violent once." Ethan's expression darkened instantly. Claire continued softly, "I reported him." "You called the police?" "Yes." "What happened?" "He convinced everyone I was exaggerating." Ethan clenched his fists. Claire stared out the kitchen window. "After that, he kept telling me nobody would ever believe me. Eventually, I started believing it too." Without thinking, Ethan touched her hand. "You don't deserve that." Claire looked at him with tears in her eyes. "You say that like you actually mean it." "I do." The room suddenly felt smaller. Closer. Neither moved away. Then Lily ran downstairs holding a drawing. "Look," she shouted proudly. It was a picture of the three of them building a snowman together. A family. Claire's eyes immediately filled with emotion. Later that night, after Lily slept, Ethan found Claire sitting alone on the porch wrapped in a blanket. Snow fell gently around them. "She misses having a mom," Ethan admitted quietly. Claire looked down. "And you?" He exhaled slowly. "I miss not feeling alone." Claire turned toward him. "So do I." For a second, the entire world seemed to stop. Then Ethan leaned forward carefully. And kissed her. Soft. Gentle. Real. Claire kissed him back immediately, and began crying halfway through it. Not because she was sad. Because nobody had kissed her with kindness in a very long time. For a while, things felt almost perfect. Claire smiled more. Ethan laughed easier. Lily became happier than she'd been since her mother died. It terrified Claire. Because happiness always disappeared eventually. One afternoon, Ethan came home early from work and found Claire packing her bags. His heart dropped instantly. What happened? Claire wouldn't look at him. I have to leave. What? Why? He came to my work today. Derek? She nodded shakily. He said if I stayed here, he'd ruin your life too. Ethan stepped closer. Claire, listen to me. You don't understand, she snapped suddenly. People around me get hurt. The words echoed through the room. Ethan finally understood something deeper. Claire wasn't only afraid of Derek. She was afraid of love itself. Because love had always eventually turned painful. You think leaving protects us? Ethan asked quietly. Yes. It doesn't. Claire's eyes filled with tears again. Then she revealed the real reason she was panicking. Derek told me something today. Her voice cracked. He said he knows about Lily. Ethan froze. What does that mean? Claire hesitated. Then whispered. The night your wife died? Derek was driving the other car. The room went completely silent. Ethan stared at her in disbelief. No. Claire nodded through tears. I didn't know until today. Ethan's entire body went numb. His wife had died in a hit-and-run accident 3 years earlier. The case was never solved. And now the woman he was falling in love with had been dating the man responsible. Claire grabbed her bag. I'm so sorry. Then she walked out into the falling snow, leaving Ethan standing there shattered. Ethan didn't sleep that night. Rage consumed him. Grief reopened like a fresh wound. Every memory of his wife crashed into him at once, the hospital room, Lily crying, the funeral, the unbearable loneliness afterward. And now Derek had been behind it all. By morning, Claire was gone. Completely. Lily sat quietly at the breakfast table. Did Claire leave because of me? She whispered. Ethan's heart broke instantly. No, sweetheart. Never because of you. But he didn't know how to explain the truth. Hours later, Ethan finally got a call from Claire. Crying. He found me. Ethan grabbed his keys immediately. Where are you? She gave him an address outside town. Abandoned cabins near the frozen lake. When Ethan arrived, Derek's truck sat outside. The front door hung open. Inside, Claire stood cornered against a wall while Derek screamed at her. You ruined everything. The moment Derek saw Ethan, he laughed bitterly. She tell you yet? He asked. About your wife? Ethan launched at him instantly. Years of grief exploded into one violent moment. The men crashed into furniture while Claire screamed for them to stop. Derek finally shouted the truth during the fight. It was an accident. Ethan punched him again. You ran. I was drunk. Claire cried openly now. Finally, Ethan stopped swinging. Breathing heavily. Broken. Police sirens suddenly echoed outside. Claire had secretly called them before Ethan arrived. Officers dragged Derek away in handcuffs while snow fell heavily around the lake. Before entering the police car, Derek looked at Ethan coldly. She'll leave you too. Then he disappeared into the storm. Claire stood trembling beside Ethan. But Ethan couldn't even look at her yet. And that hurt her more than anything. Days passed without Claire hearing from Ethan. She stayed alone in a small motel outside town, convinced she had destroyed everything. Then one evening, someone knocked softly on her door. Ethan. Claire immediately started crying. I understand if you hate me. Ethan looked exhausted. Older somehow. I don't hate you. But Derek. Derek made his choices. Not you. Claire covered her face. I should have told you sooner. Yes, Ethan admitted honestly. The truth hurt. But losing her hurt worse. Ethan stepped inside slowly. After my wife died, I stopped living. I was just surviving for Lily. Claire listened quietly. Then you showed up at my door. His voice cracked slightly. And suddenly our house felt alive again. Claire cried harder now. I'm scared all the time, she admitted. Every time something good happens, I wait for it to disappear. Ethan gently lifted her chin. So am I. They stood there in silence for a long moment. Then Claire whispered the question that mattered most. Can you ever forgive me? Ethan looked directly into her eyes. I already did. Claire broke down completely, wrapping her arms around him. Outside, snow drifted softly beneath the motel lights. For the first time in years, both of them stopped running from their pain. And chose each other instead. Spring arrived slowly in Vermont. The snow melted. The world softened. And somehow, so did Ethan. 3 months later, Claire stood nervously in Ethan's kitchen while Lily helped frost a birthday cake. "You're doing it wrong," Lily announced dramatically. Claire laughed. "Then you teach me." Ethan watched them quietly from across the room. It still amazed him how naturally Claire fit into their lives now. Not perfectly. Not magically. But honestly. Some nights she still woke from nightmares. Some days Ethan still grieved his wife unexpectedly. Healing wasn't clean. But it was real. Later that evening, after Lily fell asleep, Ethan handed Claire a small folded piece of paper. "What's this?" "Read it." Claire opened it carefully. It was a letter. From Ethan's late wife. Claire looked confused until Ethan explained softly. "I found it hidden in an old memory box last week. She wrote it before Lily was born." Claire read the final line aloud through tears. "If anything ever happens to me, promise me you'll keep loving again. Don't spend your life alone." Claire started crying instantly. Ethan stepped closer. "For years, I thought loving someone again meant I was betraying her. But," he smiled softly, "but now I think she saved a place for you before either of us even met." Claire kissed him through tears while spring rain tapped gently against the windows. And upstairs, Lily slept peacefully for the first time in years, finally feeling like she had a family again. Sometimes love doesn't arrive loudly. Sometimes it shows up freezing at your front door during the worst snowstorm of your life. And quietly saves you.